And welcome back, everyone. Welcome. This is part two of my trip down memory lane, my tour of my Minecolonies 1.12 cities. It is an attempt to get some clips, actually, from all the different cities you know, for that thing. So here I am. This is the second city, and oh, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you, potential human. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your coming back. This is the city that I made when I discovered that Minecolonies had created this entire dark oak design for housing, and it was like, oh my gosh, I have to have a dark oak city. And so this is it, and this is the lawn of the city. I'm going to rise up. It's hard to tell, it's nighttime, but this is the city of New Mombasa, and we are going to, it's hidden. It's mostly hidden in the trees, so we are going to sort of take a complete look. I think I'm going to start over here. So originally, this tower right here with the solar panels on it was by itself. It was a ruin. It was here by itself. It was the only building. And when I found this place, this ruin was sitting next to this lawn area, this flat area right in between these trees and the water was actually, there was nothing here. It was just a green lawn in the middle of this dark oak forest, and it's like, this is where I want to do this. And so we built the city from there. Now, this tower originally had in it the Tinkers, because I started it in survival. This was 12, and we had the Tinkers, and let me do something here. There we go. We had Tinkers, and we had everything we needed to start the city in survival. And we had our campsite right on this lawn. And as a matter of fact, the members of the colony, the colonists, have made a tribute to the original campsite. This is actually something that Minecolonies actually has that you can build in your city. It's a park that has this little campsite on it, and this little carriage, and a fire. This is a fire right here, and this well. And so this was built here as a museum. This restaurant actually sits on the original site of the, well, more here. This was more the original site of the campsite when we started. This is the original site of the city hall, but this is not the original city hall. The original city hall burned down. And when, no, I'm serious, it was struck by lightning and burned down. But when I went to rebuild it, it had already been modified by Minecolonies developers. And so it did not sit on the land the same way that it had been before. So that's why it's sort of strange in the way that it is seated. This is actually the entrance, the main entrance for City Hall, and it was originally facing this way, facing the lawn. But when the City Hall got changed, and they added this beautiful garden area, water area underneath. They changed the orientation, and so I couldn't build a new city hall. Remember, this is 12, so I had to rebuild the city hall in this location. Luckily, only one building was affected, and that was a school used to be right here, where we have the Magical Arts Foundation building right now. This is the Magical Arts Foundation right here. And there used to be a prep school here, but it closed, of course, because it was in the way of the city hall. This is this is a new delivery shop right here that was also built. This is super modern delivery shop when Dark Oak went through a second stage of design for the buildings, and we built that. This is one of the last buildings that was built before I went to 15 in New Mombasa. Now, New Mombasa breaks up into a couple areas. We have we used to have a farm district over here, but the farm was sold off to the university to make this university. Now remember, this is 12, and so there are no universities. So I made these beautiful grand libraries into schools, made them the university. So this is actually a library. This library still exists in the new 15 and 16 mine colonies, only they now have a university as well. And you can't have those buildings here, which is why I had to go to 15, is because they have materials in them that are only available in starting in 14, 15, and 16. And so those buildings couldn't be built here. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. For instance, lanterns. These lanterns are actually the result of, I believe, extra utilities or one of those mods. And because there were no lanterns in Minecraft, much less mine colonies. We have complete peace with the revenants in New Mombasa. The peace that we have allows them to be in the city. They do not attack the citizens. They are members of the community, and they live in the area and have their own housing underground. So I showed you the foundation, the Magical Arts Foundation. This building here was responsible for the planning and the funding of the restoration of Nearcastle. This is Nearcastle, which is now the Magical Arts Center of New Mombasa. Nearcastle, of course, was only this small building, as I explained earlier, but then these buildings were restored from plans that were found when this building was built. This was the first of the enchanting towers that was built. It actually burned down. Fire is something that you have when you live in a forest. This building actually burned down, and unfortunately, we actually lost our first professor, actually our first doctor of magical arts when this tower burned. However, it was rebuilt, and during the time that it was connected to this dungeon, which is the original dungeon for Near Castle. Right here, I'm going to go through for a moment. This is the original Near Castle dungeon stairs. They don't actually go up. Did I make them go back up in? I don't think so. I think this is just decorative. But this was the original stairs and the original dungeon. This dungeon made it possible for us to actually be able to build the colony in survival. And we made this corridor of the dungeon connects to a special corridor that goes up into the house that was built for the professors of magical arts. This house was built specifically for them to be able to have this secret entrance, underground entrance, not really a secret, to Near Castle and to the Magical Arts Center. Among the plans was also this carriage house, and this carriage house had a sawmill, a carpentry shop. This is actually a dwarven sawmill design that has been converted into this carpentry shop behind the carriage house for Near Castle. And this is, believe it or not, this building is a sandstone design housing. This is a house, a sandstone house that has been modified to be the carriage house for Near Castle. And this is the downstairs. Notice it still has its traditional kitchen, and we actually gave it a traditional root cellar down here, and which I just had so much fun doing. Having a traditional root cellar and the traditional kitchen. Yes, there is electricity, and that's why this lamp and that coffee pot can be plugged in. And upstairs is the bedroom. There is Emma Astley. She is actually the carpenter and one of the caretakers of this area. And so, yes, what a beautiful view of the castle they have from here. Now, this castle originally belonged to the Lord of the Plains, the skeleton Lord of the Plains, who occasionally can be seen surveying his land out in this field. This is beyond the city right here, but because this Near Castle was in ruins, he was actually had no problem with us rebuilding it to its original glory. And isn't it wonderful? I'm really happy with the way that came out. Now, what is it made of? It's made of a dungeon castle tower is where the solar panels are. This is a guard tower um, building in Minecolonies. This is a magical arts. This is a enchanting tower that is buried, partially buried in the ground to reach down to the dungeon. And this is that same enchanting tower not buried in the ground. We did some alterations on its side building, the player section of this building, to make it actually be a player section. And then this is a decoration. This is the gate decoration. And we connected all of the buildings to make this courtyard. And this is what we did. We adjusted this player extension, which at level 5, this, let me find the original. I'll tell you what the original piece is. Let's see. Let's go up these stairs to where the original hut block is, which is right up here. Here it is. And there is Gianna, Professor Jervil. This is a stone enchanters art building, a stone enchanting building. And we did do some modifications ourselves to the building, but the building itself did have this room that went off to the side that had this table, this gosh, what's wrong with me? This enchanting table and the library behind it. And all we did was add the fireplace, and we added an upstairs to this. This is my in-town sanctuary. When you hear me lamenting Minecolonies 12 Mr. Crayfish not being the same as when Minecolonies 15 not being the same as 12. This is Mr. Crayfish in Minecolonies 12. That mirror that works is actually a part of 12 and is a part of Mr. Crayfish furniture. I am grateful that Mr. Crayfish still exists, and he did make a furniture mod. It is much simpler than the one that is in 12. We do not have these gorgeous chairs, but in some respects there are some wonderful things about it. And that's all I can say. You win some, you lose some. That's pretty much how it is with this set of changes between 12 up to 15 and 16. I'm going to go here because this little area right here, let's see if this is correct. Yes. So we have, this goes out to the courtyard. This goes to Near Castle, and this is the Ranger Tower in Near Castle, and this is the building. This is how New Mombasa's and Minecolony Omo and some of our other Ranger Towers, this is the way I like them to look. This one is fully done. And I really like the way this one turned out. So this is the reason why I am showing it right now. And then up here we have Ranger Commander Luana Barrett. This is her post, and she is the commander of the Rangers. We have a Knight Commander because here in in New Mombasa, like in Omo, we have both Rangers and Knights. So we have a Ranger Commander and a Knight Commander. And yeah, so this is Near Castle. And let's go, now that we've seen Near Castle, let's go back to the city and let's look at the city of New Mombasa. It is nighttime. Professor Gianna is going home. And we can see that Professor Harrison and Emma, our carpenter, are in bed. And let's see over here. They're the caretakers of the of Near Castle and the carriage and the carriage building. And I don't think we're going to have a sighting from the Lord of the Plains tonight. So let's just go through the city. So Near Castle is located just outside of the farming area of this city. Um, we're coming up here to housing and farms in this area. This is the chicken farm. This is the Dark Oak chicken farm and the newest version of the Dark Oak um, ranch, cattle ranch. And I'm going to say new version because while I was building this city, as I said, it changed the designs of the city. So we were able to put in this new cattle ranch just before we moved to 15. This is a dwarven builder in this mountain area here. And then way off here, we have one of the houses that belongs to people who work in this area. This is what's left of the farms. And if you remember, there is no in 12, no plantation. So the sugar farm and this beet farm, these are the sugar farms of New Mombasa. They grow sugar. And these were the original farmhouses. We did have some other farms, but they were replaced by the university, except for this little area here that was left and turned into a this is the university's lab for what you call it, a botanical lab. I think that's what it would be, their botanical lab. So this is actually, believe it or not, a birch, I think. Let's look and see. A birch, yes, level 5 florist that has been modified to match the Dark Oak University, but it is actually a birch flower shop that we're using as the botanical lab. We have some farm housing still left over here for these farmers, and our builder who works out of this dwarven builder's hut here actually built this house, this dwarven house for himself right here. Now we were having trouble with the colonists, the owners of this house, recognizing that they could go downstairs from the 3rd floor. So we actually built this little exit point because of it. But this is the dwarven home. And oops, sorry, Francis. And this is the modifications that we made to it. This is definitely a three bedroom upstairs here, and the 1 bedroom here we made into a bedroom and bath, giving them a closet right here, this closet, and then this bathroom right in here, this little half bath right there, and that is in the master bedroom. And for a change, is it actually, wow, Ellie, yeah, Ellie, and this is what I love about returning to these cities. That's Ellie and Simon actually in their bedroom. The husband, well, no, the chosen. We have no marriage in the traditional sense here, husbands and wives and all that jazz. Well, they choose each other, and this is the kitchen. And then it comes out onto this lawn here, and they can go up the stairs, the same as this house, up to the boardwalk. And this is the main boardwalk. This is City Hall right here. And we're going to go through this City Hall to the, is it this way? Yes. Let's go this way. We're going to go through. Now, this is the post office right here. And we have one of the patrol soldiers from the Lord of the Forest is looking around. And there is one of our, this is more than likely a doppelganger. Remember, 12 was doing something strange and was creating doppelgangers. But all of this in here is housing for all of the people who live in this city. And at the end of this, yes, and at the end of this block is one of the ranger towers as protection on this border of the city. And you can see this is ranger housing, believe it or not. Academy, the women who go to the academy, the ranger academy, live here in this housing, since they can't actually sleep in the barracks that are in the Ranger Academy in 12. We have housing all up and back in through here. This is actually a flower farm right here, which goes out to this pig farm, which is a combination of two pig farms, the Dark Oak pig farm right here, and then we took a dwarven pig farm and made it into a smokehouse for the farm. So this smokehouse right here is where all of the meats are cured and sold later to the community. And from here, you can actually see the sawmill. It's far enough away that they don't hear the noise to disturb the animals. And this is actually pretty pleasant here. We widened the pool. Was there a pool? I think there was on the Dark Oak one. I love this Dark Oak pig farm. And then we took away the boundaries between the Dark Oak and the Dwarven pig farm, and so that's why it looks like that. And let's go through here. Won't let any of the animals out, and we're going to rise up from here. So we have the sawmill right here. This is actually a sawmill carpentry shop. You can see that he does make some things, and so this is the sawmill, and it's located here. The lumberjack, this is the farming area here. The lumberjack is actually located right here, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe that this building right here is the lumberjack. Yes, it is. So this is the manager, the forester, the manager of our, what? What did that say? That looked like it said one. No, it said hut. This is the manager of the grove of trees that are used for yes, that are used for the city, that are used in the city. It's also sort of almost a tree museum for them too. I'm looking at some tree stumps that will be taken down in the process of getting of this city being of having this grove. It's one of the ways to keep from having fires is to manage the forest. So that is what we're doing. We began to experiment much more towards the end and begin to have all sorts of dark oak houses with all sorts of different materials. Now, this isn't dark oak. This is actually a jungle style, a jungle design. Kind of brutal having the smokehouse right next to the farm. Yeah, except it's up off the ground, so the smoke is actually blowing up and not and something that they don't really smell. It is a little bit a little bit brutal, but this is a colony after all, and that's one of their main sources of food. So unlike us, um, in 15 and 16 there's much more of an idea that you can have a vegetarian colony, and that's to be explored. We have here on this back area of the farming district two different versions of a mesa. This is actually a mesa design house that has been modified to look like this. And it has been pretty wild, but these two houses belong to two of the oldest families. And it's only natural that they would have the wealth and the ability to build these big houses of their own. This is the Acacia Apartments for New Mombasa, and they're in the swamp. They're actually in the swamp. So that is the reason why they're on the ground. We have a couple of ground buildings in this area because of that, including this new Ranger Tower. And I say new because it was only decided recently, and by recently I mean one of the last decisions before we left this city, to build a Ranger Tower on each border of the city. So that is the Ranger Tower on this border. This is the Ranger Tower on this border. You saw the dark oak Ranger Tower across the city, and the Ranger Tower on this side is actually near Castle. So we remember the libraries are the only thing that we can use as schools and universities at this point. So this is actually the school. I said it was the university, and I apologize. I forgot until just now that this is actually the prep school, and that lab belongs to the prep school. That flower lab, that botanical lab. The university is actually across from City Hall. Now, this building right here is another florist shop. This is a dwarven florist shop that has been remodeled to be dark oak in dark oak materials, but it is actually a dwarven designed. It started out as a dwarven flower shop, right here. And this is actually the mall. This is the gift shop. Elias runs this gift shop. So when we knew that we had, it was weird. So the original library for Dark Oak was less ornate, and we were going to have this new one to be the university, and we were going to have the old, less ornate Dark Oak Library be the prep school. But when it burned down, we made this the prep school, and we built a new university. And because the Jungle Design Library had so much dark oak already, if you are familiar with Jungle Designs, they use jungle and dark oak together. Just the same way birch uses diorite and birch, acacia uses spruce and acacia, and jungle used dark oak. So since it was already dark oak, we just made it more dark oak. This is a Jungle Design library that New Mombasa is using as their university. And we took out some of the jungle. There's a lot still inside, but the trees were absolutely changed into dark oak trees because we are in a dark oak forest. So we definitely did that. This is sitting on the site of the original combat barracks. Used to be on this site, and the only evidence that they were here is this. This used to be the basement of the combat of the barracks. But we didn't need a barracks at the center of the city, and so the barracks was torn down to make a university. We have peace, and granted, we have a militia that is ready in case we need someone to defend the city. And we do have a Ranger Academy. Let's go over to it since we're walking. We'll go to that part of the city. We can go this back way. And so we do have a Ranger Academy, but we also wanted the city to be more focused on education and magical arts, and so this is where we are. This is the oldest bakery in town. We actually have a second bakery, but this is the original Dark Oak bakery, and it still pretty much looks like this. There have been some changes made to it, and so it's fun to come back here and see it looking like this. And this is this is a restaurant here. Once again, it is Jungle. This is Jason, who is the great grandson of the restaurant, the original Dark Oak restaurant owner in town, Ariana. She still has her restaurant, but he traveled all over the world and he wanted to build a jungle restaurant here. And they said that was fine, except that it had to be covered like a dark oak build, and so it is. It is actually completely covered. Its main tree is a dark oak tree, the same as the university, but it is definitely jungle themed, and the food is jungle themed as well. And so this is that restaurant, which looks really fun. I'm really glad with the way that came out. And this is the Ranger Academy. Now, I don't know whether the Dark Oak Ranger Academy looks like this anymore because Cujo and one of the other developers are the designers who are responsible for the design templates for the buildings that the builders design. This is a beautiful Ranger Academy, and I love it. I love the way it's laid out. I did some things. I put in the glass ceiling here, and made these little off areas here into little dining areas for them. Um, and I changed a little tiny bit some of the housing up here because of just to make it more me, because that's what I do. But this is such a beautiful design, and I really love the the area, the Ranger Academy. That's what this is, and it looks really nice. So that is New Mombasa, and it's pretty much in its entirety. I've showed you a little bit of the housing, a little bit of the buildings, and I hope you enjoyed that. What I am doing is trying to get some footage and I'm also trying to preserve this. This colony is now on its own. It colony building is what I do, and so when they get to the point that this is, then they continue. The people live here, they have their own lives, they continue building and continue living and continue working. So, this is my new Mombasa. One of the, did I show you? Oh, I might have missed the industrial area over here, didn't I? I'll do that as the one last thing. I have one building over here that's on the land. It was not allowed to be built in the city. It's actually across the river, just outside of the city. It's within the city borders, but it's considered outside of the dark forest. Oops. And this was built by the stonemason. This is the dark oak stone masonry right here. These areas right here that have these little yards belong to this building right here, which is the dark oak stone masonry. Whether it looks like that now, I don't know for sure. Oh, thank you, Potential. Thank you very much. But the owner of the stone masonry wanted to show off his stone abilities. Look what we've got. Look at you. You're so cute. That's not a grown one. That's like a teenager. But so this is actually a Mesa design building that has been transformed uh, into a quartz house right here, and I had so much fun doing this. This is one of my favorite things from New Mombasa, and I really enjoyed making that. And thank you, Potential. Thank you for being here with me while I took this journey and got some footage, and hopefully I have what I need. We'll come right. Oh, look. He was stopping there to buy a ticket. He's going to buy a ticket. Wow. Look at that piece of armor he has. To see some performance here in our theater. This is the stage. This is the audience areas here. And this gazebo was changed into a performance area in the center of the city. And you purchase your tickets here, and then you can see. And of course, you purchase a ticket. Why should you purchase a ticket when you can just stand here and see it? To get a chair. So, and to support the actors and performers and musicians who put on the performance. So that is what that is. And this is an Acacia restaurant. This is actually a level 5 of this restaurant right here. And if I'm not mistaken, it is an Acacia restaurant, which was also changed to dark oak to make it fit in. And this was one of the first of these restaurants where we covered the awning, the red canvas awning that runs through the eating area. We covered it here because, of course, this is a place where it actually rains, and that awning was not protecting the people from the rain. So that is why we put that there. So there he is. There he is. And look, there it is again. There's the moon. Thank you again. It's going to take me probably about 5 minutes again because I have to get completely out. On my system, I don't know why, but on my system, I cannot switch. It bombs if I switch cities, even though they're in the same directory. So I am going to leave the stream, and I will be back in about 5 minutes with the last city, New Massaquoi, the jungle's edge. So this is New Mombasa, the dark oak city, and yeah, I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you for being here, and bye for now. Bye for now.